Hi, this is Wale Oluwade. This is the fifth part in the series of how to raise godly children. In the parts 1 to 4, we examined the 10 keys to raising godly children. I encourage you to go get them and watch. I believe you'll be blessed doing so. Now, in those 10 keys, the fourth key of the 10 keys we examined, the fourth key is respect, meaning for you to raise godly children, your children must respect you. And if you're unable to raise godly children, in a way, it means your children don't respect you. So how do you know? How do you ascertain whether your children respect you or not? So we're examining in this fifth part, the causes, the reasons why children don't respect their children. That's what we're looking at in today's teaching. So how do you know your children don't respect you? What are the indicators to show that your children have no respect for you? So I'll give some pointers. They're just symptoms. Number one, if they don't honor you. And remember, in one of the keys also had explained the meaning of honor, to revere. One of the meanings of honor is to revere. Another meaning is to serve. Another meaning is to defer to. When your children defer to you. Another meaning is to give obeisance to, and so on and so forth. So if your children don't honor you, then it shows they don't have respect for you. Secondly, if they consistently disobey your instructions, it shows that they do not have respect for you. Number three, if they usually act contrary to what society or other authorities expect, meaning they don't have respect for you. Because if they do have respect for you, they would be mindful of what they do in the larger society, because they would say, I don't want my dad to or my mom to hear about this. So if they act contrary, usually, to what society or other authorities expect, it shows they don't have respect for you. Another pointer is if they don't help or assist you in house chores or the family business. So your kids find it difficult to do any house chores. Maybe because you're so rich, you have maids and gardeners and all of that. But no matter how rich you are, you should raise your children to do house chores. So if your children refuse to do house chores, it's a pointer that they do not honor you. If you have a shop, for instance, and you ask them to go there to go stand in for you, and they refuse, it's a pointer to also show, they do not honor, they don't have respect for you. Now, another symptom is if they usually challenge or question your authority. So if your children usually challenge or question your authority, so you try to correct them and they say, no, you can't tell me this, you can't do that, it's an indicator that your children do not have respect for you. Another reason, if they are always asking for something different from what you offer them. For instance, you say, okay, this morning we're having this XYZ for breakfast, but your children are fond of always saying, no, I don't want this, I want that. It's okay if you raise your children like that, but that is a pointer that your kids do not respect you. There are so many other reasons, but I would stop here. Now, these are the symptoms of disrespect from a child or from children to their parents. But we're not looking at the symptoms. We want to look at what are the underlying causes of parental disrespect. What are the root causes of parental disrespect? What would make a child look the parents in the eye and disobey the parents? A parent gives instruction and the child looks the parents in the eye and disobeys that instruction. Why? This is important because I know many parents who are in a quandary and dilemma, wondering why their children disrespect them. There are a number of reasons why your children won't respect you, and I'll run through them. Number one, if you are irresponsible, your children are not going to respect you. What is the meaning of being responsible? What are examples of parental irresponsibility? Number one, you keep late nights. You're fond of wandering the streets, coming back 1 a.m., 2 a.m., even 11 a.m., 11 p.m. in the night. What are you looking for? You go to work, you come back home, normal time, 6 p.m., 7 p.m., except you're a medical doctor or you're engaged in a kind of job or a profession that they run shift. Otherwise, if you have, your close normal time as other people, you're meant to go home and stay with your children, stay with your family. So if you're irresponsible, other signs of parental irresponsibility, irresponsible conduct is laziness, idleness, drunkenness, deviant behaviors from parents. You are violent, you're unruly, and then you're a social wanderer. You have lots of people close from work. rather than going home, they're going from one beer parlor to another beer parlor, from one place. Abuja is fond of, oh, we're going to go and eat fish here. We're going. So they rather than going home and sit with their children and find out how was it, no, they wander the street. So that emblematizes, parental irresponsibility. Now, another reason why, your children will not. Another cause of parental disrespect by children is when you have abdicated your role as a parent, either a father or a mother. Now, I think the role of the father is even more stringent than that of a mom. I mean, if you check the scriptures, because remember, we're looking at how to raise godly children, not the way you raise children in the society, not rich children, godly children. Ephesians 6 verse 4 refers specifically to fathers and says, fathers, do not provoke your children, but train them, raise them up in the fear and admonition of the Lord. So, if a father has abdicated his role, the fatherly role, of course your parents, your children are not going to respect you. Another reason is if you refuse to provide for your children, you don't provide their needs, you don't pay their school fees, you don't pay the rent, you don't do anything, and your children see you like that. What does the Bible say about a father or a mother being responsible? It talks in 1 Timothy chapter 5 verse 8. It says, any man who cannot provide for his house, he has denied the faith, and he is worse than an infidel. Another reason, another cause of disrespect for you as a parent, if you don't correct or discipline them. I'm going to emphasize more on this, in the concluding part of this teaching. Discipline. The Bible is so particular about disciplining children. Proverbs 13:24 says, if you spare the rod, meaning you hate your child. In Proverbs 22:15, it says that foolishness in the heart of a child, but the rod will drive it out of it. Proverbs 3:11-12 says, do not despise the chastening of the Lord, because a child whom the father loves, he chastens. So the Bible is serious about discipline of children. So if you fail to discipline your children, then they will not respect you. Children without discipline will end up either in hospital, in jail, or in the grave. Because discipline is the guardrails against falling off the steep bends and cliffs, the stiff bends and sharp cliffs of this life. Discipline is very key. Another reason is if you encourage your children, number 5, if you encourage them to do wrong or what is evil. Look at what Jesus said in Matthew 18:6. He said it was better for you for your hand or feet to be cut off than for you to make any of the little ones to err or to enter into error. What are the other reasons? If you yourself as a parent, if you break societal laws or rules, guess what? Jesus was in the habit of obeying the laws. Jesus didn't say, oh, I am the Son of God, so I can break the laws. No, Jesus obeyed the laws. He paid taxes. He said, give unto Caesar what is Caesar. Number 7, if you abuse or mistreat your spouse, your children will not respect you. Number 8, if you don't honor God, if you are not submitted to God, your children will not honor you and they will not be submitted to you. 1 Samuel chapter 2 verse 30. James 4:7 says, he says, however, submit to God. You have to be submitted to God as a parent for you to have respect from your children. Now, if your children don't fear you, they will not honor you. And I was shocked because 1 Timothy 3:4-5 says that a man should rule his house. Rule. He didn't say lead, he said rule. And that he should have his children submitted under with gravity. Another word says in reverence. The 10th point, the 10th reason why your children will not respect you is if there are no signs and wonders of God in your life. These are some of the reasons. Now, I would stop here, and then in the concluding part, I would delve deeper, examining a few of these causes. These are the causes of parental disrespect. These 10 points I just highlighted. Examine yourself in these 10 points. I would examine a few of them in details in the concluding part. Now, before I shut down, let me remind you, subscribe to this YouTube channel. If you are blessed or inspired by any of my teachings, subscribe to this channel. Then share these videos, with your friends, and then don't forget to click on the bell button so that you get notifications whenever a new video is released. And also, critically, give me a feedback. I want to get your feedback so I know how we can share ideas or experience together on raising godly children. Remember also, this is the season for you to stay safe. So be safe and stay blessed.